In this tutorial, you'll be able to learn how to make this simple and stylish kimono bubu gown with the ruffles at the sleeve and also a keyhole at the waistline for snatching. This can also be used as a traditional bridal robe for a bride or ashrebi ladies. So guys, if this is something you're interested in, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get right into the tutorial. For this robe, I made use of this silk Adure fabric and it is sold like this. I think it's about 4 to 4.5 yards in it. And for the organza, I bought 3.5 yards of the organza fabric. So guys, I went ahead to iron this and I folded it in such a way that I have the length of my robe. So depending on the length you are making, so just iron it just like the way I did. Then I'll be cutting the back and the front together. So I ironed the center line, like I ironed this at the center point, then I folded it into two into the length of my robe. So after folding it like this, I think the remaining left on this fabric was just about half yard. So guys, I folded this at the center and I'm cutting the front and the back piece together at the same time. So this was what I did, and it is very important for you to iron this out because it comes very rough, so you need to straighten it up ironing. So after folding at this point, so I'll measure my shoulder divided by 2. So my shoulder is 15, so 15 is 7.5. Then depending on how long you want your rope to be, like the sleeve of your rope. So if you want it to get to your wrist, you measure that. But before you measure it, deduct about 6 inches that you will be using for your ruffles. So let's assume your wrist measurement from your shoulder to wrist is 21. Deduct 6 inches from that 21. So you measure 15. Then you add extra half inch. That half inch is what you will use to join it to the ruffles. And in case you want it to cover your hand too, you can just measure to the point you want it. Deduct the length of your ruffles. So I'm using 6 inches because the ruffles I used was 6 inches. So guys, whatsoever the measurement is all together, that is the sleeve, the shoulder, the half inch, you keep transferring it downward. So you measure everything you have there, then you keep measuring it till the end of the bubu. So you keep transferring the same measurement till the end of the bubu, and you rule a straight line. You connect all the points with a straight line, just like this. So you connect this line down to the end of your bubu. So guys, I forgot to mention for this bubu, they won't be joining at the shoulder area. So the front and the back will be together. So for my neckline, I'll be using 3 inches wide for my neckline. And the depth of the back neckline will be 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and cut this. Then it's now time to shape that of the front. So this is the front and the back. As you can see that there is no joining at that point. So you open it up. We want to work on the front alone. So you open it up and make sure you are working on the front alone. Like I said, I ironed mine, so there's a ironing line at the midpoint so that I don't get confused. As you can see, the ironing line at at that neckline that I just cut. So the next thing I will do is to measure 1.5. I'm measuring 1.5 because I want to add a band of 2 inches. And if you want to add a band of 1.5 inches, just take out 1 inch instead. Then I went ahead to measure 7 inches from the shoulder. Then I'm connecting it to the tip of the neckline just like this. And from that point, it will be straight downward. So after that 7 inches, it will be straight downward. Like I said, I want to add a band of 2 inches, so I'm taking out 1.5 inches. From that 7 inches, I went down at the shoulder area downward. I will take 1.5 inches. So now I've went ahead to arrange my rope back. So I'm arranging it back because I want to cut the keyhole at the waist area. So now I'm notching this part here just to note the center at this area also. Now it's time to locate where our keyhole will be at the waist area. So for me, I made use of my half length, which is 15 inches, but I would advise you go up a little bit. So let's assume your half length is 15 inches like my own. I would advise you use 14 or 13.5 so that when you are tying the rope at the waist, it will look very okay. Though the 15 inches I used was also okay, but I wish I went up a little bit higher. And to know the point, what I did was to measure my hip divided by 4. So the measurement I'm taking right now is my hip divided by 4. Then I added my ease allowance. So depending on how wide you want your bubu to be. So this is where my bubu will be getting to. If I want to join in, this is where it will be getting to. And that is where the keyhole too is starting from. And for the keyhole, as you can see how I did it, it was I think 1 inch by about 3 inches. 1 inch by 3 inches. So the longer side is 3 inches, while that short side is 1 inch. Then I draw this oval shape. So to cut the keyhole, just pinch the fabric a little bit so that your scissors can gain access into the fabric. Then you go ahead and just trim like this. The way I'm trimming, I'm doing both for the right side and the left side together. So when you are arranging your fabric, make sure you do it correctly so that they can be on the same point. So now to sew this keyhole, this is how you will do it. Just flip this over a little bit, then hold this and pinch the other side too. Let me do it again. So this is the keyhole. Then you fold your fabric like this, bring out the edge, the edge, and align the edge with this other edge too. Align it together like this in such a way that you are holding the two fabrics together. Then you take it to your sewing machine and you be sewing gently until you sew round. You sew gently until you sew round. So this is the first one I did. As you can see how neat it is. So let me show you how to do this again. So you flip your fabric like this. Then after flipping it, you pinch like all this like this. Pull this out. Then you hold the other side too. Then after holding the two together, you go ahead and you start sewing. So you start sewing like you will be turning it and you will be sewing this. So let me do this again. So this is the O. You flip this backward, then you pinch this two sides together, then you pull out the edge. You are holding the edge, then you go ahead and sew. So after sewing, I also went ahead to iron. As you can see how nice it looks. So now it's time for our ruffles. So for my ruffles, the small layer is 4.5 inches after hemming the edge, and this longer one is 6.5. As you can see that I went ahead to fold the edge. So if you are cutting your ruffles, you can just add extra half inch for that hemming I did. So I'll place them on each other. I will go ahead and join them together. As for the length, it depends on how full you want the ruffles to be. So for me, I use times 4 of the organza length. And you know organza length, each one is 60. So times 4 for each layer on one side. So this is the fabric I will be using for the belt and the band at the neckline. So this is this one, and this one is about 3 inches. So this other one is for the neckline, and it is 2.5 inches on fold and 5 inches when opened up. So I'll go ahead and turn the rope, and I'll fix the band to the neckline, all around the neckline. I did not add stay to the band, I just fix it like that, and this is what it looks like after fixing. So the next thing now is to fix the ruffles at the edge of the sleeve, at this edge over here. Like I said, my ruffles was about, I think, times 4. You know, organza length is about 60 inches. So I cut 4 long lengths, like 4 lengths. That's 60 inches, 4 for each layer of this organza. And it was for one side. So that means for the two side, I'm cutting 8, 8. So 4, 4, for 4, 4 each for the two layers. And I'll be fixing them on the two sides. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain to you. Before we join the ruffles, we'll sew this part here. And for me to sew that part, you know where I place my keyhole is where I want the joining to start from. So my joining will start after the keyhole I made at the waistline, then I will continue downward. So for me, the measurement is this line. As you can see, this ironed line that I have there. So that's the line I'll be following. So I'll just keep sewing this downward, and this will make the work very easy for me. So in case you don't have like this line on your fabric, just create the line so that you can just follow it and your joining will be straight. And when you are joining it, you won't join it to the end over there. You will leave like 10 inches. So I left like 10 inches here. So that was where my joining stopped. This is to allow easy movement when you wear this robe. So after that, you go ahead and also hem the lower part of the bubu before we now join the ruffles. So this is the edge where I'll be joining the ruffles. And like I said, that this ruffles is for each side and for each layer. It is 4 of the 60 inches length. So that's like 240 length for each layer. And I have layers on each side. So for the two sides, I have 8 of each layer. So since I have 2 layers, so I have 8 of that. You can either make the ruffles on the organza before fixing it to that edge, or while you are joining the organza to the fabric, you can be making your pleats. But I would advise you make the gathers before joining so that you can evenly distribute the ruffles on the ruffles. So now I'm done with the joining, and I also went ahead to weave it. Please weave, because you know organza can be so funny. So just weave it so that it can look very neat and very beautiful. So this is the rope which I made, and I will just insert the rope into the waistline. So the rope is just to make it snatch at the waist area. So that's the essence of the rope, and this is how it will. In case you are making a traditional you are making this as a robe, and maybe later on you don't want it to be a robe anymore, what you can just do is to place the front on each other, then you top stitch, and you have a bubu instead of a kimono. That is what I will even do after my wedding. So this is the outcome, and this is what it looks like on me. As you can see, the waist area, which I said I wish I went up a little bit, is a little bit low, though it's on the waist, but it's a little bit low. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't liked, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.